All right, 5 o'clock. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturdays with Steph. Thank you so much for being here today. As you can see, I've got a room full of friends today. Yay! Hi, friends. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves one at a time. They're going to tell you who they are and why they're here and all that kind of stuff, where they're from. So go ahead.
So I get to do this a second time. I thought you wanted it before.
No.
Hi, I'm Bev Carnes. I met Stephanie at the last So Yeah retreat in October, and I've come to learn how to do all her patterns. I love her patterns. She writes them so well. And we're going to get to be roommates for the next retreat at So Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Who's next?
I'll go. Hi, I'm Phillipa. I'm in Brisbane, Australia. I a bit of a retreat junkie. I go to a retreat every 2 months. Once a year, we have one for about six days. And I've been doing this for about 25 years. So I've had a lot of experience at retreats, I guess. The group, and then I think in the 25 years, I've missed maybe 10. And that was because I took a break to have babies. Maternity leave. So yeah, I've attended a lot of retreats. Currently, the group that we have here, there's 22 members, and I organize the retreat each time. So I'm the organizer. And I met Stephanie. I'm looking forward to going to my first Stephanie Stitches retreat, which is in Washington. So, so I leave this retreat and then I go to Stephanie's retreat in Washington.
Oh, wonderful.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm Russ. I'm with Quilt Meets World. I'm just getting over a bit of gunkiness, so that's why I sound a little nasally. Stephanie's retreat in Dahlonega in the end of the year is going to be my first retreat, so I'm very excited for that one.
Yay.
Okay, alphabetically, I'm not used to not going last with the last name like Way. So I'm Shannon from Slay Arts, and I have done both physical go-to retreats with Stephanie Together We Sew retreats in Millersburg and in Walnut Fort. And I've done virtual retreats, both Stevens and other just like rando ones. So yeah, not 25 years worth of retreating. I'm super jealous, but in the past 2.5 years, a pretty good number.
Okay. And I'm Steven. I need no introduction.
No.
There we go.
No, you don't.
Short and sweet. I like it.
And for those of you that may not know me, I am the idiot quilter. And yeah, and I've been to many in-person retreats. And as you heard Shannon say, I've also do my own, as the idiot quilter, virtual retreats. So I've experienced from both of those. And I have a few unique aspects about retreats to talk about from a man's perspective. So stay tuned for that. And you may hear even more interesting stories if I continue to drink this.
Chug.
I love it. I love it. So I'm going to start with Russ, and I'm going to ask Russ to tell us, you've never been to a retreat. So what made you want to go to one? What made you say, okay, I'm going to try this? Because it can be a scary thing the first time.
It is a scary thing. And as Stephen mentioned, the whole male thing, my local quilt shop, they do a retreat every year. I forget where they do it, but it just, being a guy and that whole perspective, it's a little weird, but when I was talking to you about it, you're like, yeah, come on, we're going to have Stephen and Walter as well. So that means I'm not going to be the only guy. So that's going to make it a little bit better. I mean, obviously you hosting the retreat is going to make it awesome, but yeah, I was like, I want to do this. I want to be able to meet some more awesome people in the quilting community, because I think that's always the best part about a retreat, is getting to meet new people.
Yeah. Awesome. So Bev, how many retreats have you been to? Have you just been to So Yes, or have you been to others, or?
Well, quilting is only one of my crafts. And I also do card making and mixed media on canvas. So there's a group of us who do a retreat about every year that doing that kind of craft. But I've been to both of Soya's quilting retreats. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the other retreats that I do, sometimes they're right here at my house because we don't want to go out to another place. And I have a big open air. I can just move furniture back out of the way, and we line up tables and everybody sits and makes things and chats, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. So Stephen, I'm going to go to you. You host 2 virtual retreats every year, which I've been to, and I love them. I think they're a great option for somebody who maybe can't get out of the house or doesn't have the funds to go to an in-person retreat. So why don't you talk a little bit about your retreats, why you decided to start your virtual retreats? And I know you've had experience with both, and I know that's a lot of questions, but talk about kind of the differences.
Okay, well, let's start with the differences then between a in-person retreat and a virtual. Obvious differences: you're not in the same room as other people physically. Now, some people don't like that idea. They like to be there amongst other people. It's the whole social thing. But we've all learned after COVID or during COVID that when we couldn't have personal contact anymore, that Zoom was a godsend. And that's why I started the first retreat. It was just as the COVID was getting started. And my channel at that point, I've always had the channel, but I had branched out into the Idiot Quilter because I had recently, before that retreat, taken up quilting. And I was starved for contact with other people who also quilted. I had been to, I think by that time I'd been to at least 1, maybe 2 in-person retreat. Oh yeah, I was in maybe 3 in-person retreats. And I had a good time for the most part, but lugging. It's all about the lugging your machine, getting your stuff ready, being prepared. It feels like you're moving house. And with a virtual, you never forget anything. It's right there at your fingertips all the time. So that's one thing. But I started it, though, to bring people together that were on my channel that pretty much knew. I opened it up to anybody, but and it kind of exploded because I didn't expect to have that many. On my very first retreat, I think I had about 40 to 50 people. And my Zoom license only allows me about 100. And the second retreat, we were full. And the third retreat, we were full. And maybe it's because it's free. That might be one, because it is free. And the next one is going to be in October the 21st. It's a Saturday, but things will be coming out from that. About that as we get closer to the date and how you pre-register and everything like that. But it is free. But I really liked doing it because I'm a little bit of a control freak. And yeah.
No.
And not that I had any problems, not in the virtual one, with anybody. I didn't have to mute them or ban them for all time or anything like that. I can't say that that's necessarily true about an in-person one, but this brings up the whole part about me being a male, and we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. But generally speaking, I enjoy virtual retreats more than in-person ones, and it's simply because I don't have to lug anything. They're a lot less expensive. If you have dietary restrictions, you don't have to worry about putting in special requests for food. And in some cases, some retreats, they don't care about that. They don't cater to people with special dietary needs, so you have to bring your own food for that. None of those worries do you have. One of the disadvantages, and this is more for the ladies than the gentlemen, is I've always heard the ladies saying, but for them, it's like a little mini vacation because they're getting away from the kids, the grandkids, the husband, and everything like that. They don't have to cook meals. They can just do what they want to do as terms of sewing and the whole bit, and be amongst like-minded people. So that is an advantage to an in-person retreat. Or you could just shut the door to the room in the virtual one and put a sign on it and say, enter on pain of death. Right here. Did you have another question there that I didn't answer, or?
I think you covered all of it. Yeah, no, that was great. Thank you.
I'm old. I forget things. I'll have another drink.
That's okay. I forget things too. And I know that you have no trouble talking. So if I need to come back to you, I can. So there was a question or actually not a question, but a comment in the chat, which leads me to Shannon, actually. Catherine mentioned she's shy, so she's never gone to a retreat. And Shannon is not shy now, but when I met her, the very first retreat she came to, she didn't speak a word. So I'd love for you to talk about how that was your first retreat and how it is now that you've been to several and you're more comfortable.
Yeah, that took deciding to go to the retreat was a spur of the moment. It was far enough away to not be scary kind of thing. Because a room full of people is not generally my cup of tea. But it was so far away that I was like, oh, this is such a good idea. It'll get me out of the house. It's my the sewing, quilting was new to me. So I'll get to meet people who also want to talk like this, because the kids didn't want to hear any more about it. They were, yeah, that's great, Mom. Just whatever. And so it seemed like such a good idea. And as it got closer and closer, I was like, what in the hell have I done? And till the night before, I was like, maybe I won't do this. Maybe it's not the best idea. But I had rented a car and I'd already paid, and that was a lot of money to lose. I was so quiet. I had my back to the room, which was perfect. I didn't have to see anybody, and I didn't have to think about anybody was maybe looking at me and wondering what I was doing. But everybody was so nice and shared so much of their own journeys, and like the show and tells, and the fangirling I did about meeting Stephanie was insane. Because I didn't want to annoy her, but I was also like, oh my God, hi. For the record, if you go to a Stephanie, she's literally the nicest human being in the entire world, and you don't have to ever feel like you are annoying her. If you have that fear, don't, because she's awesome, and you want to go meet her and hear her talk to you. So I may have missed out on some opportunities of actually getting to know Stephanie better that weekend, because I was so freaked out. Yeah, it was very worth it. It was a lot. You pack everything up and you have to stress about, are you going to forget anything? But then you realize when you're there that other people have brought about 4 of that thing that you may have forgotten. So there's always somebody willing to share something. And just a good time with people making fun of themselves, making the same mistakes you thought were the most wretched mistakes in the world. And you're like, oh no, we're all doing this. It's okay. Like, we're sewing things backwards and upside down and the wrong way. And it's okay. And that was really nice to learn, because I was so by myself because of being a pandemic baby in the quilting world. I didn't have anybody to tell me it was okay. So it was very cool.
Yeah.
And now you can't get me to shut up.
I was going to say, now she comes to retreats and she's the life of the party. So and it's great. It's been so great to see your journey from that brand new quilter first retreat, sitting in the corner not talking to anybody, till now, like, you're like, hi.
I may have been pushed by somebody named Stephanie to do things like YouTube and stuff, but it was the best motivational push ever. So
well, I'm glad you did, because we all love you and your channel's growing and you're doing fabulous. So
thank you.
Yes. So Phillipa, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience with quilt retreats? Like, what's your favorite thing that you like to do at quilt retreats, or?
Sure. So as I said, I've been doing this for a few years. We're a group of 22, and the retreat center sleeps 20, but at the moment, this retreat, we've got 19 people. One of the things that I started, I didn't know how to quilt, and these ladies are my family. I get to see them every 2 months. I've been, as all of us, we go through things, and they've been my support. They've been my teachers. They've taught me along the way. But it's the laughter. Like, we arrive and we belly laugh the whole time. And you can be yourself. You can do whatever. You get lots of advice from everybody, but you take what you personally want to do. Everybody's just so welcoming. And we all look forward to it every time we come here. A lot of us don't belong to any other groups. This is our only group. So I don't know, I get to sew for 3 days straight without any children or husband or any responsibilities. We escape here and the rest of the world just disappears. We do lug a lot of stuff, as you do say, and I will, if it's all right, I can take you on a tour of the retreat room so people know what they're, would that be all right?
Yeah.
All right, so I might do, now some of the ladies have woken up, so you may send them pajamas, but everybody's aware I'm going to do this. Oh, and sometimes, like when we do the week-long one, some of the ladies are actually accredited teachers, so they actually do a bit of a class to sort of, so most of the time it's all your own project, so you bring what you want, but then on the 6-day one we usually do a bit of a class of something, and this time we've done FPP, and a lot of the blocks are on the wall, so I'll show you that. So that was kind of a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
that sounds wonderful.
Yeah. All right. And I did check, and the kangaroos are outside the veranda where we eat. So hopefully when I go out there, they're still there, so I can show you the kangaroos, because we're in the country. We're about an hour and a half from Brisbane, west of Brisbane, an hour and a half in the country. All right. So I'll show you. Oh, I better turn it up, and there'll be lots of photo bombs. All right, let me turn it around. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is my station, all right, and my machine. And as you can see, I'm quilting the All-Star quilt.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, just an idea. So this is all our stuff. Like, we pack all our stuff in bags and bags and bags of stuff. But and let me just go. Then we have like cutting stations. Now I just pan. So this is the main room where we sew. So as you can see, everybody sets up tables with machines and all their stuff, but there is lots of stuff, lots of stuff. Yeah. And then we also have in the background there a full-size kitchen, because we, at the back there, oh, there's someone coming up. We do our own catering. So I do a roster each time we come, and so everybody gets allocated meals, and then they make them, so we just eat in-house the majority of the time. Now outside is where hopefully the kangaroos are, and this is where we eat, on the veranda. So we go out here, and there's our big eating table, and then we usually have boards set up here to pin quilts. And okay, I'm going to be quiet now because the kangaroos are still here. Sorry, make people sick. All right.
Oh.
All right, hold
So
on.
cute.
I know.
Now everybody in North America wants to come to Australia for a retreat. That would be awesome.
They're so fluffy.
Wow.
See them? Can you see them all?
Yes.
What a
All right.
great retreat location.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That is
Oh,
amazing.
there we go. Oh, look, see that I spoke and now they're all moving. Yeah, so we have resident kangaroos. All right.
Yeah, I thought our llamas were great.
All right, I'll go back in now. Okay.
Very
Turn it
cool.
back
Thank you for
around.
sharing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That was neat. Okay, now I want to go to Australia for a retreat.
Yeah.
Steven's like, yeah. Hey, oh, that's a good idea, Steven. Next year when you go, you should plan it around like a retreat.
That is an idea. The only problem is I can't take my sewing machine with me, but
Oh, that's true.
probably
yeah.
rental places.
Yeah. Very cool. Lots of people in the chat saying, where do I sign up? Oh gosh. Let's see. Somebody mentioned after you've been to retreat, you learn how to prepare before going and not bring so much. That's so true. So I'm going to let you guys that have been to retreats talk about that a little bit, because I found that to be true as well.
Well,
Is
I
there
know.
too much?
Is there? Yeah, that's
Oh.
what I was going to say. You know, I try all the time to cut back on what I have. I mean, I have my sewing machine bag that my sewing machine goes in. I have pockets on it. I have got stuff that never comes out of the bag. It's meant so I won't forget anything. I have duplicates of everything. And but then always at the last minute, no matter what, I take too many. I make everything up into kits that I want to work on. I try to have everything pre-cut before I go, so I don't have to, worry about cutting things that much. And nevertheless, at the last minute, I say, oh, but maybe I should take this with me too, because I'll probably get these other things done, and I don't want to have nothing to do. What the reality is, and someone said it in the chat, you don't get near as much done as you think you're going to get done because you're too busy socializing and having a good time as well with it. So, but yeah, so I still pack too much. And with us going down for the first time, we're doing an international retreat, Walter and I, at New Year's down to Stephanie's in Georgia. So hope we can get everything in the car, because for us, we're driving down and it's 1,000 miles. It's about 1,400 kilometers to get to the retreat. So we'll have our sewing machines packed in there and everything else. So I'm really going to try to pack light. We'll see how that works out.
There's a lot of quilt stores.
Sorry.
There's a lot of quilt stores between you and Georgia.
Yeah, I have to learn to put in fabric to come home with. Yeah. Smuggle across the border.
And kind of back to what Shannon was saying too about how everybody has extra of everything. So that's another good point. Like you're coming from not overseas, but from Canada. But if you like Phillipa's coming from overseas, right? We're gonna make sure she has everything, because that's how quilters are. We're gonna take care of each other. So you can pack on the lighter side, because if you get there and you run out of Aurifil, I guarantee you one of us will have Aurifil thread, or if you run out of like your blade goes bad, we'll have extra blade. Somebody will have it. So that's the one really cool thing about a quilt retreat, is that we all can share and, but I always do the same thing as you were talking about. I always pack too many projects. I go, oh, what if I finish these? And I put that extra project in and I don't open it the entire time. So be really careful this year not to do that.
And you're right about people lending you things too. If you forget a ruler or a rotary cutter, there'll be somebody there that has 2 of those and they'll lend it to you. I've lent many things out. Of course, I stand right behind them and go, are you done with that yet? I want it back. But,
if you have somebody like Ingrid who has what is it called, where she printed out the names for everybody to put things on all their stuff.
A label maker.
A label maker. We were like labeling all of our stuff.
Maybe I'll bring mine. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Russ, you're writing all this down, right? Like everything you need to do, bring to it.
I've done like sew days at the local shops. I've done sew days at the local shops. So I do know that, I forget everything.
Yeah, and that's a good point though about the labels. If you don't have a label maker, you can use a Sharpie on your rulers. That's what I do. But make sure you label everything, because how many of us have like a Creative Grids ruler that looks exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
Or the same rotary cutter, or the same whatever. And I'm not going to cry over a seam ripper, but the rulers are expensive. The rotary cutters are expensive. So those kind of things you want to make sure you label.
And when you see somebody walking out the door at the end of the retreat with a sewing machine that looks like yours, you can walk up to them real quick and say, my name's on that. I didn't see it. Oh, this is mine.
But I wanted to talk, because Stephen talked about having a go bag ready, and you think, oh, I don't need doubles and stuff. If you can slowly start building that go bag for if you are going to do more retreats, not having to go back and forth from that bag has been awesome with having gone to now a couple of Stephanie's retreats in face to face, like in-person retreats, knowing that is my retreat bag, and I will always have a rotary cutter, acorn easy press pen, the right rulers, like the generic kind of things that will get me through pretty much anything Stephanie could throw at us at a retreat. It's really nice to know it's always there, and I don't have to run around thinking, oh, did I get this? Did I forget this? That is kind of nice, but it's an added cost. So you have to like weigh it with, are you going to go to more than one, or are you going to be crazy like how we all become roadies and want to go to all of Stephanie's retreats? Then you're going to, or like going to like 25 years worth of them every 2 months. It's nice to have that go bag, and it's always there and always ready to go.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
The thing about the go bag too, though, is if it's, especially when it's your first retreat, you're so excited about this. So you're getting all your stuff together like the week before, and you're packing it all in, making sure it can fit in the whole bed. But then you want to work on one of your projects during that week as well. And you go, where's my scissors? Oh, yep. They're packed. So you don't have to worry about that, because what eventually will happen is you get out your scissors and go, okay, I just need these for that. And you forget to
forget them.
Yep.
You get down and you went, crap, my scissors are sitting on my cutting board. Damn it, at home.
Yep.
I have done that with the single in-shop sew days that we have. I do have a go bag, but there's been things that I don't have duplicates of, and then I'll remember I've put it in there, and then I take it out and get to the shop and I'm like, oh, I don't have my mini iron, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. So either I end up buying one while I'm out there, or hopefully somebody else has one.
Yeah. And you can revise your bag as you go along too. I have several times. Like I'm not a pinner. I like wonder clips. So I used to take wonder clips with me all the time, but I very rarely clip or pin when I'm piecing. It's usually clipping when I'm binding. Well, I'm not going to bind at a retreat, because if I finish a top, I'm not going to be able to quilt it there.
Yeah.
Right.
So I stopped bringing those, because a couple of times I brought them and I spilled them and I lost some. So you can revise as you go.
And that's a good point too. Like when you're planning, I said that I pre-cut all my fabric for a project before I go, because the reality is that some retreats you'll go to, they may or may not have a cutting station or a pressing station set up. They usually do, but there's going to be people ahead of you. If they've got one cutting mat and you didn't bring one with you, or you need a bigger space to spread your fabric out to cut, you could be standing there waiting, and there's always going to be that one person in there who cuts at the speed of a snail. Every piece is very accurate.
I feel very, very attacked right now.
Yeah. I didn't say your name. I've never been to a retreat with you, so I don't know. And the thing is,
the cutting, also the ironing, right?
Ironing.
There's only so many ironing stations.
And if you hop in on somebody, you might get a print of an iron on your arm.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But if you're also somebody who likes to heavy starch or heavy best press or whatever you like to do before you cut, you might want to do that ahead of time. Like Stephen was saying, like prepare your fabric, because there might not be a space where you can hang all this wet fabric, or, you can't spend hours at the ironing station because there's other people that need to use it, you know?
And actually, I have a question for the group, if I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and this is for Russ's benefit. So when you get to the in-person retreat, how do you set up your area?
Spread out as far as possible, mark my territory.
Oh, you're one of those. Yeah, okay. No, the reason I asked that question is because there are some people, at the first couple of retreats I went to, I didn't do this, but I do it now. Now, I probably won't be doing it to the one because of packing and the distance we're going for this. But Walter and I both, we bought little collapsible tables. And even though
Yep.
you're on a big space, a little one is great. You can set it up as a pressing station or as a cutting station for yourself and sort of make a little nest. That's what I do. I make sort of an L if the space allows, so I can swing around the chair and everything. So I've, my sewing machine, the tools I'm going to reach for most regularly, my little cutting mat here, my little pressing station here. I'm kind of anal about all that stuff about it, but then that's just me about things. But, it's important when you get there so that you're not having to waste a lot of your time looking for your stuff or where did I put that piece of fabric? I need it now and I can't find it. It's under here somewhere and all that kind of stuff. So that's how I set up. But, everybody each his own.
What
I love
about,
the nest.
what about you, Bev? How do you set up?
Well, because they provide everything at So Yeah, about the only thing I do is I move the machine over as far as I can go to the right, and I put my cutting board and ironing area to the left, but we don't have room. The tables are long. It's like, what, 5 or 6 8-foot tables put together, and you get half of an 8-foot table. So you have 4 feet. So most of my stuff is, right there to the left because I'm a left-handed person, or behind it where I know that I'm not going to have fabric going through to knock over something. I'll have things sitting behind my machine to the right. But we don't, because there's rows, the tables are in rows, there's no room for extra tables to spread out.
And speaking of spreading out, one thing I found that works really well is if you've got that, what Beth said about, you've got basically 4 feet and you'll always sit next to the one who likes to spread out like Shannon. So you take your masking tape and you put a line, a demarcation line, and you say, just right on the tape, very, very, subtly, just put a little with your Sharpie on there, cross this line and die, bitch.
The DMZ.
It works every time.
Stephanie, you won't do that to me, would you?
No, as
I
long
don't
as
want
you
people
stay
to
on
think-
your side. No.
Okay.
When I say these things, I don't want people to think that you're going to go and have a horrible time and fight for territory. No, far from it. Okay.
Yeah.
But I
You
have
work
been
it
in a
out.
situation where the two of us mutually agreed we would put a line.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't, because, my rotary cutter would kind of slip over to the other edge, open. I kind of a thing, just a little threat, and no, not really. But people are very nice and very conscientious usually of other people's space. But people are all different too, and they may be unconscious of the fact that they are a spreader. And if you feel like you're cramped in like this, and given the situation of where the retreat is, I don't like feeling closed in. I like to have lots of space to, spread out. So there's another thing. When you go to a retreat, get there a little early and scout out the facility so you can rearrange things to suit yourself.
Yeah, don't tell Stephanie that you're moving name tags. Just go. No.
But I mean, actually, seriously though,
Yes, Shannon.
plan your area. Like, look at it, go, do I want to sit up there, but then I don't have an end where I might be able to put my little table on? Or do I want to sit near the back where there's less traffic because I'm further away from the door? It's important. Like if you're that kind of, and I am that kind of person, I like to scout out the territory and claim my space.
Well, they have our spaces assigned.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No.
So yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Go even earlier.
You have well, it's not a name tag. They have the list and they tell you what station number you go to.
Oh, like a wedding. Okay.
Kind of. Yeah.
Well, I
So
usually
you
do
marry
that.
the person.
I usually do that at my retreats too. I assign seats, but if I know somebody's coming with a sewing buddy, I'll try to put them together. But I know a lot of people's personalities because I have a lot of repeats. And so I try to put people together that I think like, okay, I know these 3 people are quieter and they wouldn't appreciate being with
Next to me.
people that, well, no, But I know there's other people who love to talk the entire time, and there's other people who would rather focus and be quieter. So I try to make sure that I put those sorts of people together. It doesn't always work, but although most people are still, get along really, really well. But yeah, somebody mentioned that, going back to your space issue, that if you're somebody who only takes up this much space, you might consider renting out your space for $5 a square inch.
I like that idea. Can make some
So
money.
Shannon,
I
it's
use
gonna
my
cost
full
you.
4 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I do. I like what Stephen was saying, that nest idea where I can just have everything like cocooned around me. I really like that.
And sometimes you can set it up so that and this is not a negative thing, okay? I don't want to come off like I'm negative, because I am not negative to retreats. I liked retreats. I like virtual ones better now, but I liked the retreats. You build, like Shannon says, you build your nest, you build your little cocoon. And if if your head is down and you're sewing, that does give an indication to some people that, oh, maybe I shouldn't bother them right now because they're trying to concentrate. You can put that out without actually saying it by the way you set up your area. I don't mean build a wall, but kind of thing.
I think I successfully did that at Millersburg the first time, because I was very much like this, like, oh my God, don't talk to me.
Head down. She was like this the entire time, like blinders on, head down, didn't talk to anybody. It was so funny.
I think what's important is you go with the attitude that you're going to have a good time with everybody.
Yes.
Don't go in with, especially it's your first one, you probably have apprehensions. I know I did. And I thought, oh, geez. And I had apprehensions also because I was the only man at several retreats. And
that's a different layer added on.
Yeah, that's a different rule. How am I going to be perceived? And anybody who has been on my channel, they know that I do not have a filter. Kind of thing, right? And I just say whatever's out there and then, suffer the consequences later. And not everybody has the same sense of humor as I have. So, it gets you into trouble. But when you're a man at a retreat with a lot of ladies, some do feel you have invaded their space because they've come to get away from their man. Okay, basically, I'm sure they love him very much, but distance makes the heart grow fonder. So, kind of a thing. And then here I come representing the men, and sometimes there's some women or ladies who do get a little shy about it. I tried to break the ice by making some kind of joke. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, there you go, Stephanie. You can add that to your resume. You've assisted in thwarting many a murder by getting women out of the house and away from their husbands over the past couple of years.
Kept people in jail.
And while I'm talking about the men here, and I don't want to dominate the conversation, but I will, because it's me. One of the things that's very interesting is that the ladies will come over and they want to see what you're working on. And they want to see what you are working on as a man, because they don't really believe a man can do this. It's a novelty to see a man with a sewing machine, although there's many more of us in it now, but I'm talking back to the first couple of retreats. And then they're full of advice, which, when you're starting out, that's very good advice. And in fact, you should take the advice that some experienced quilters have if you're not experienced, or even if you are. You learn something. I always learn something at a retreat from somebody, more than one thing. But sometimes there are those people who are very generous with their advice, if you know what I mean, where you just want to say, thanks a lot, go away, kind of a deal. One lady was over Walter's shoulder, because Walter is not a quilter. He is a garment maker, and he was working on shirts at a retreat. And there was one lady in there who couldn't believe he could actually make shirts, kind of a thing. And she wouldn't let him work. She kept coming over every 10 minutes and bugging him. And to give Walter credit, he did, Walter has a look that he can put on his face that would scare, everybody to death, whoever they are. And he was trying very hard, to actually try a smile, but that's not in his repertoire until you get to know him. And even then, but some people will do that. And you may be the kind of person like, say, Shannon, who might be a little bit more introverted and, kind of go away. Whereas other people welcome that advice. But I guess you always have to look at it from a positive point of view. They're there because they want to offer you help, and they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're not doing it to bug the rear end off you with it. So yeah, but as a man, that happens a lot. And then I have to watch what I say. Like I did try to be funny once, and it was a unisex bathroom and like 30 ladies and me. And so I came out to the washroom and I says, okay, ladies, just to let you know, I put the seat down. If that seat is up when you go in there, somebody in this room has a secret. Most of them found it very funny, but one of the organizers came up to me and very seriously said, I'm so glad you said that because I didn't know how to approach the subject with you. Okay. It's a toilet lid. You know, shit happens.
Literally.
But yeah. But that's a male's perspective. Okay. That's just different. Most of the time, I find all the ladies lovely, lots of fun. They're there for a good time. And so am I. So it works out.
Oh, there, yeah, you can think that too. Like you're there for a small amount of time to have fun with a bunch of people. You're gonna meet some people that you would want to go to a retreat with every day of the week, and then you're gonna have people that aren't your cup of tea. But you're all there to have a good time. So just remember not to take it so seriously, and remove yourself from the situation if you need to. You're allowed to do that if you're getting cranky. I myself have taken myself into timeout before if I'm getting cranky, because you are away from your own bed and you are up late at night and you're, having such a good time that I can get cranky and I need to take myself away from a situation, and you're allowed to do that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So this will be a question for all of you, including Russ, because I know you haven't been to a retreat, but you've been to sew days. Besides your sewing supplies and your sewing things, what's one thing that you would tell people you'll want to bring this, or you'll want to wear this, or you'll want to eat this? What's one thing that you would say you should bring that to a retreat?
Oh, a sweatshirt.
Snacks.
A sweatshirt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did you say?
Definitely snacks.
Snacks?
Yeah.
That's what Steven said too.
Booze. No, oops, I just say. Actually, though, quite seriously, there are the ladies I have found enjoy a little glass of wine in the evening while they're sewing and socializing, and some places will allow that. I have been to a couple of retreats where, well, it was at a Bible camp kind of thing, and no booze whatsoever. That stopped me? No, but never mind about that. But like there's nothing wrong with that. Snacks are good. Yeah, but I strongly suggest that you bring, if you're allowed and you want to, there's nothing wrong with bringing a little bottle of wine, at least in your room anyways. I mean, you're not there to get like pie-eyed because, sewing and alcohol
Rotary blades
not work very well, although whatever you create at that moment in time will look wonderful until the next morning when you wake up and you're like, oh, what the hell was I thinking? But yeah, but I think, but snacks are good. You should bring snacks.
What about you, Bev? What do you think? And Phillipa?
I would most likely just say comfortable shoes, comfortable clothing. You're not there for fashion show. And there's nothing worse than having pants on that are too tight just because they look good, to be sitting there sewing. I just be comfortable, because you are going to be in a tight space for a long period of time. So you want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I can't hear you. No.
Whoa. What happened? We lost you.
Yeah.
Who did we lose? Phillipa?
that was going to be the answer to like all of life's questions right there too. And now we get
No, she's been to so many. She's got all the answers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Can't hear you. No.
darn.
Reset.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, another thing though that some people do bring too is their own chair. If you can
Yes,
get it in,
yeah.
because the chairs usually at a retreat, they're like a hall, right? Somewhere, and they usually have those standard folding chairs or whatever, and they're hard. At least bring a cushion with you if you've never been to the facility before, because your tush is going to get really sore. And that kind of thing.
Because you're sitting there all day.
Yeah.
I would say my number one piece of advice to bring with you is patience, because like Bev was saying, there's a lot of people, depending on what size retreat you go to, there's a lot of new people. A lot of people have never met each other. There's different personalities. You need to just be patient with people. And like Stephen was saying, don't hover over people, be kind. I would say just bring your manners. That's to me the most important thing.
But many people do appreciate it if you come up to them and say, I love what you're doing there. Can you tell me about it? They want to show what they've created as well. And we do that in the virtual retreat and virtual so days that I have. We do that all the time. We show and share whatever to everybody because, you're proud of what you've done. You want other people to see it. So don't be afraid to show your stuff either.
No. And Shannon will tell you that at the retreats, people get things done and we all stand up and applaud, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it works. It's fun. It makes it more fun. And who doesn't like to show off what they finished, right?
Well, and who gets cheered at home? None of these kids are not standing up and cheering for me.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Lauren's taking offense.
We all get it because we're all sewers, we're all quilters, so we get the passion that our family doesn't. So
the time that went into it and the love and, and the cursing and all the stuff.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yay. My earbuds died. Sorry. So if I can just say, because I was doing lots of talking, but nobody was hearing me. So yeah, my thing is the comfortable clothes. I believe in what Bev said. Most of us walk around in slippers and sweat and active wear because you're sitting down a long time, right?
Yeah.
And the nesting thing, absolutely. We all come with our sewing machine, a smallish cutting mat, a smallish ironing station. And so we all have that all set up, but we also set up big ones. So we've got big ironing tables set up as well. So if you want to do big stuff, you can go over there because the lines are really long. There's 20 of us, right? So we do that a lot. And I don't know, everybody sort of shares, some people, as you say, you can't come with everything. And some people, we have big tables, they're 2 meters, I guess, 2 meters, but we come with a lot of stuff. And the other thing is that I have 3 go bags, not just one. So we come every 2 months, right? So I have a big bag and it has many bags in the big bag. And then I have a bag of project stuff. And then I have a go bag of clothes as well. So literally, I am spoiled, but I guess we have not everything duplicate, but a lot of stuff duplicate. And then, I just grab those 3 bags and then we all come. So, but yeah, the comfiness is, you're here for a long time. Make sure you're comfortable clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, what Bev said about that was funny. I do not need to see you in the newest makeup.
No.
there's no runway that you need to be walking down. Kim Kardashian. No. Sorry,
I'm
Russ,
not
I
there.
don't wanna
I'm
see
not
the
there
new
for
eyeliner.
a fashion show.
Did you see Russ? He's like, darn it. That was my thing.
Now,
can I
Russ,
also
if you want
suggest-
to come fit and dressed like a king, come on. Whatever you're comfortable in, that's what you do.
Except I draw the line at the thing about the jammies, sewing in your jammies, because I don't know, but no negligees, okay? And
Oh, no.
I don't have any jammies, so no, I don't think that would be appropriate.
No, no birthday suits. No.
No, it's not that kind of party.
No.
Steph, Stephanie, can I suggest that maybe Stephen get put in the middle of the group so he's the center of the attention, and then nobody can invade his space.
There you go.
Oh, honey, I'll be the center of attention no matter where I am in the room. I'll just walk right in
We
and
know that.
suck all the oxygen out. Yeah.
But nobody can invade your space then if you're right in the middle.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I have a rotary cutter. It's unsheathed, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Russ, have we scared you to death?
Absolutely not.
Oh, good.
He's like, I want to join that party.
Yeah. Well, I
He's
noticed
convinced we
somebody-
are his people.
Yeah, I know somebody in the chat mentioned one very important thing that none of us have mentioned so far. Bring an extra light with you.
Yes.
It's very
Yeah, we
important.
bring lights.
If you can get one of those lights, like I have an Ott light that all folds up, and there's never enough light when you're in those places at all. So that's a good thing. And an extension cord.
Oh, and the little mini fans. Oh,
I was just gonna
I
say,
have
I've
one
got,
around my neck. Yeah.
yeah, I've got an Ott light that is a light and a fan combo, because those of us at a certain age who might have hot flashes, those are perfect. So yes, you Stephen, I'm talking about you.
Stephen, you
A lot
can't cool down that hotness. That is
I
just
know. It's just off the chart.
But that is
A lot of
is
us
a good
carry
thing to bring.
little lights. A lot of us have these lights that when we come here, you can attach them to your sewing machine, and then they sort of elbow down because you don't have that direct light, as you say. So
Yeah.
and they're small to carry. So if you have a look for, they're very, very tiny. So you attach it, and then it comes down and it goes directly onto your sewing surface.
That's a good idea.
And not very big to carry, because you carry a lot, as you say. So you try to go for the miniature versions of a lot of things.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Let's see if I can see one.
So Shannon, I was asked earlier in the week what you typically do at a retreat, and since you've been to one of mine, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So the retreats that I've been to, so I've been to 3 now and getting ready to go to my 4th, the second go around in Pennsylvania. These ones are project based. So I know going in, sometimes Stephanie will say, pick a color of a colorway. And so we'll kind of have a hint of what might be going on. Sometimes not, sometimes you have no clue, but we don't have to, so I don't have to bring anything pre-packaged or ready to go, which does play into if you have your own nest area where you can cut and prepare fabric and you don't have to worry about the rush to those stations. Having that nest helps out a lot in that too. But it's you either you get there, you figure out where your seat is, and you start unpacking and you set up your space and you say hi to the people you've seen before, or if you're brand new, you kind of awkwardly sit there. But if it's at a Stephanie, one of us is going to say hi to you. So be ready for that. Someone is going to say hi because we want you to feel comfortable, which is really cool. And it was Stephanie's first one, and still people said hi to make everybody feel comfortable. But so the prepared ones, you end up with, Stephanie, so there's a folder, you know exactly what the timeline is going to be, pretty much. There's some flexibility, and we can sometimes make some choices of, oh, maybe we'll start that after lunch, or we flew through this one project, so we'll start it before we go to lunch. And then, you just work. Oh God. And everybody is so good about helping out too, because if you are a little bit behind, I'm a slow cutter and sewer, and people are always willing to like help you get that ironed or get the rest of that cut so that you can get, so don't be afraid to ask for help if you're feeling behind, but also don't beat yourself up if you're behind, because there's no winning, there's no ribbon at the end for whoever did it fastest.
Yeah.
And you're there to have fun. And if I'm stressing about I'm not doing it as fast, I'm not having fun anymore. So get in your Zen spot and have a good time. And yeah, I haven't been to a whip one to bring. So everything is kind of given to me by Stephanie on a platter. And I just do what she tells me. and I happily go along. And like in Millersburg, we'll have auctions, which is so much fun, where you're able to make something and bring it. We also have grab tables where people will bring scraps, or scraps in Stephanie's world are far different than other people's scraps. Scraps in Stephanie's world are like fat quarters and above. So you make out when you go and grab. but at both places you can bring notions and things, or like, you know, a layer cake that you thought you'd use and you ended up not using, and then you can get something from somebody else. That is so much fun. That's a lot of fun. And then, yeah, good food and talking and just being goofy. Walnutport is a little different than Millersburg, where we're actually in Walnutport, we're in a house. So we get to cook together, like Phillipa was saying, where they have the kitchen. You know, you get to make meals and you don't have to eat out so much. Millersburg is in a hotel. So there's a lot of margaritas happening at the Mexican restaurant. So it just depends on where you're at. Yeah. Yeah. Did I answer that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Shannon brought up, though, a couple of interesting points in there. One, I think when we've talked about attitude, when you come with a positive attitude and everything like that. But also, I think you should come with the idea that you are not going, this is not an opportunity for you to catch up on all your projects. This is an opportunity for you to socialize with like-minded people in a safe environment, where there's no judgment, and just enjoy that time together. What you get done, you get done. Yeah. What you don't get done is not the end of the world. Because I have watched people at some of the in-person retreats who have I have to have this done. I have to have this done now. And they're putting undue stress on them. And to the point where if there's something going on, like say there's a game or an activity, because sometimes there are at retreats and things like that, they don't want to participate because it's going to eat into the time they have to get that done. Well, that's not fun. That's putting pressure on yourself. And the other thing too that you've kind of brought up is different types of retreats. There are structured and unstructured. Unstructured are where, come on in, do whatever you want to do, and away you go, which is great. If you're the kind of person you don't need a structure, you don't really want to take a class or do something else, a project, and that's fine. But structured ones, and when I say structured ones, there may be a class with the option of whether or not you want to participate in it. Or it may be structured in the sense that, you know, when you walk in, that there's going to be a game at this time, which you have the option to participate in or not. And this is going to happen. It gives you a sense that there's organization. I've been to a retreat, in-person retreat, where you came in and you're really left to your own devices. Well, you want to know something? I could have stayed home and been left to my own devices with that. I like a little structure in there, although I don't seem that I care unless it's my structure. But, you know, again, I'm a control freak. But yeah, so you know, you get those different types of, because Stephanie, you really have sort of some structure for 3 out of 4 of your retreats, right?
Yes, I do. But like Shannon said, it's flexible. I'm not like rigid where I'm like cracking the whip. You have to be at a certain time. But that brings up another point. Like Bev will tell you. And so, yeah, it was kind of a mix now that you guys were talking about structure versus unstructured, because you could either choose to participate in the projects, or you could bring your own UFOs, or you could do a little bit of both. So Bev, do you want to touch on that really quick a little bit, because you've experienced that?
Okay, well, actually the first retreat a year ago in October, everything was structured. They sent us a list of what we needed for a project, or we could buy it from them. But if, you know, there was XYZ number of projects and everybody, you know, here's your list of materials, what you need to bring. It was super structured. And that one didn't leave room. If you took the classes, it didn't leave room for any free time.
Mhm.
because you were really busy working on the classes all the time. Then the last one, which is the one Stephanie was at as well, you could take one or all. They arranged them better the second time. Instead of having all of the free ones in the morning and the paid ones in the afternoon, they moved them around, you know, like somewhere in the morning. They mixed them up a little bit so that it allowed everybody to have some free time if they wanted it. And they also did not, I mean, the first one, they had all of our evenings planned as well. I mean, I don't know if they thought we were teenagers that were going to go out on the strip and get lost. I don't know, but they structured, I mean, from the moment you woke up till the moment you fell asleep, wherever you were, they had it structured. The second one, they relaxed a little. This one coming up, I'm anxious to see how this one comes about, because it too is a little more unstructured, but they're not trying to put as many classes in as they did before. But that can be a problem if you try to do all of them. It's like you just don't have time for anything else. And I end up bringing home half of the projects and never finish them. Now, the one thing they're doing this time that I think is really good, instead of honing in on making an entire quilt, they're going to teach you how to do a given block for a quilt. Then if you want to purchase the materials to make a complete quilt, fine. If not, you have a block for a pillow or, you know, some such thing. But I think that too is going to be a lot more economical for people to just do a block. It may turn out like Stephanie has already done one of the projects that is in line for this coming retreat. So I'm sure you're going to use that as free time. Mm-hmm. But we are not making an entire quilt. We're only making one block. So I think that's a good idea too. And then you have the ability to go out into the store, at least at Soya, you have the ability to go out into the store and buy the materials you want to make another one, because maybe the kit packet that they gave you isn't your choice of colors. So that way you can make it your own colors. But they have a combination of free courses that's available for everybody. You can take it whether you planned on it or not. And then there are some that are paid for. And if they have enough kits, if you'd said no to begin with, and then you got there and decided, oh, I really like that. If they have enough kits available, you can purchase it there.
I have been to some retreats where whoever is organizing it have invited the local quilt stores actually to come into the facility and set up some vendor tables where you can purchase things as well. And or in some cases, I know now I've never been to one like this in my area, but where they will actually take you to a quilt store that's in the area as well. If you want to do some purchasing.
Part of your activity for the retreat is to go shopping at that given shop. Well, with Soya, you got 10,000 bolts of fabric right in the same room as you almost.
Oh, I just want to lay in it and flop myself all around.
I was going to say it's almost a bad thing because you want to spend money every time you walk in the store.
Yeah, it's and you keep trying to walk with blinders over to your sewing machine, right. And there's always a new display of something right in front of you as you walk in.
Yes.
Yeah, an important point. What else to bring with you? Money.
Yes,
yes, true.
Have money.
Or plastic that works.
Or plastic, whichever. Yeah. Whatever works for you.
I take plastic.
Yeah, plastic that has enough of a limit on it to spend.
And expect that you are going to suffer from FOMO because you're going to say to yourself, when you get, I know I'm going to be very good. I don't need those things. I won't buy them. And the one beside you go, I just got it. It was a great price. And you go, I should have brought more money. Where's my plastic?
And that's what happens to me. It's like, I think, okay, I'm never going to come back here again. I need to buy everything I possibly want. And now here I am. This will be my third time in the store and at a retreat. So I don't have to buy the store out every time I go there.
But I love shopping at a retreat. I really do, because it's just something, magical about it. And sometimes they give you, like, they'll give, if they have a store come in or you're going to a store, oftentimes those store owners will give you a special discount, which gets you even more excited.
Oh, Millersburg gives you a bag of goodies, like of discounts at all of the local quilt stores that are in the area, because it's in Amish country rather, and there's like so many stores, like it is overwhelming, and they all give you little coupon pages and stuff. So cool.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, when we go to Washington, there's a store there that's associated with the retreat center, and it's hard to resist because they have every fabric you could ever want. And if you can't find something there, you're not a quilter.
I'll be the quilter running down the street with all these bags hanging off me going, start the car,
Right. And they give us a really nice discount. They give us 20% off. And then
They do. Yeah.
when we come to Dahlonega, there's a quilt shop there that I work with, and they're actually closed during that week. Most shops down there are closed between Christmas and New Year's, but she opens special for us and gives us the nice discount. So kind of hard. Yes, bring money, because you don't want to be standing there watching everybody else get all kinds of good stuff and not be able to get anything. So yeah.
My plan when we go to Washington is to bring my suitcase down and leave it at the front door. And then the other thing that I've got organized, because obviously I'm getting organized, is that while I'm in Washington on the retreat, my husband and my daughter are in Las Vegas. So they're going to FaceTime me. I'm sending them to So Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm
Nothing
like, get that Mama's Garden. Just get in there and find some Mama's Garden for me.
Oh, well,
your
hopefully you got-
entourage.
Yeah. I hope you'll find some. When is that you're going?
I leave on Tuesday. So from they're in Las Vegas from 23rd. Yeah, 23rd. They're in Las Vegas for 4 days. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll find some Not Your Mama's Garden. It is sold out
Not
everywhere.
me, them. Not me, them.
Well,
Yep.
Yeah, them.
But-
yeah.
it is sold out everywhere. So good
Oh.
luck.
I
Just
just noticed,
FaceTime me so I can actually be there with you.
Yeah, that's cool.
I just
Yeah.
noticed that Designing Jay says, depends on the vendor at the retreat. One of the vendors at a retreat I attend require cash or check. That is important, because
No, yeah.
go with your credit card. Sometimes they do not have the facilities to process a credit card at those.
True.
So I've been to ones like that where I didn't take enough cash, and yeah, there was, and I cried a little in a corner because I wanted that real bad. So I sat there with a little paper cup and said, please give to the poor quilter. I will work for fabric.
Isn't there an ATM somewhere nearby?
Well, not at that one. I wasn't. It was way out in
Oh,
the country something. It was the sticks. Yeah. It was
oh,
that.
you were really in trouble there.
Yeah. Well, I just stole a purse. But
And sometimes if that ever happens too, you should check with the vendor, because they might have a Venmo or a PayPal set up that you can send them money. So that's another, if you run out of cash, you can ask them, hey, I would like this, but I ran out of cash. Can I do this other thing? So yeah.
Oh.
yeah, show you a good time. I mean, really.
I don't mean that kind of other thing.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I do windows.
Yeah.
I cook.
Yeah. There you go. So you can always barter with it. So what else do you want to know, Stephanie?
Well, that's pretty awesome. Is there anything else that you guys would like to tell people that have never been to retreats, or that you think they should know about coming to a retreat, or anything, any advice or anything like that?
Can I flip that on its head? Because you are a face-to-face retreat getter together planner, like you and Phillipa both. Like what are things that you wish people knew when they come to
Phillipa answer that first.
Okay, so I think for us, I mean, ours is a bit different because ours is always a work in progress. Everybody brings their own. But I think with the attitude that we're all here to have a good time, and don't, as you said, don't put pressure on yourself. Come with a flexible attitude. Because we're there to have fun and enjoy ourselves, and so we're all quilters. We all have, I don't know, we're unique. We all have a different sort of attitude, and we all laugh. Like we laugh and laugh and laugh, belly laugh the whole time, and that's really good for the soul. And then we all walk away feeling absolutely fabulous. So just come flexible and prepared to have a good time. And you're with quilters, so we all think the same, really. I think we're a breed on our own.
I completely agree with you, and I want to add to that too, because a few people said it in the chat. Don't be afraid of me if you're coming to mine.
Yeah.
Don't do what Shannon did. And I actually had somebody do that at the So Yeah retreat too. Sat and stared at me the whole week and didn't say anything to me till the last day, and then finally said, I was fangirling you, so I never introduced myself, but I am so and so. I'm just a person just like you guys. Steven's met me. I'm not scary. Shannon knows me. I'm a human being just like you guys. I just happen to have a YouTube channel. So don't be afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
But if you want to come up to her and give her some money to take a picture with her, she'll take it.
Just warn me first. I can put my makeup on. No. Oh, so did you guys have any last words of advice for anybody coming to a retreat for the first time?
Don't
be prepared to be tired.
Yeah.
Yes.
You'll go home exhausted, but it's a good exhaustion.
Yeah. Agreed.
If you let yourself, you're going to have the time of your life.
Yep.
You are going to make friends for life. You're going to make, if you let yourself and don't do what I did my first one. Not that I didn't have fun my first one, but I was definitely terrified.
Yeah.
Let yourself have a good time.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Photo bomb.
So Russ, I know you've never been to a retreat before. What are you most excited about?
Meeting people. It's always like just you get different perspectives from different people. When I was doing the So Days at one of the local quilt shops, just the people that you meet and the connections that you get with those people are just amazing.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Yeah, I've met some incredible people on this journey, not just through YouTube, but through the retreats. And a lot of people that have met me through YouTube have come to the retreats. So then I get that face-to-face connection with them, and it's just been amazing. So just keep your mind open. There's, like I said, there's gonna be people, all different personalities, but just be kind to everybody. And one person might not be your cup of tea, but you can sit there and be like, okay, that's okay, but you still have a good time. And it's just been a great journey for me, and I know a lot of you feel the same. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be sort of like what travelers need to know, or usually know. You're going to be in a different place. It's not your home, so don't expect it to work the way things work at home.
Yeah,
be a little bit flexible. Let it happen. Go with the flow, and you'll enjoy yourself immensely if you do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, if the only expectation you go into it with is expect to have a good time, then you're guaranteed not to be disappointed.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Very true.
Yep. Very true. All right. Well, I think we're about wrapping up unless anybody has any other questions or if you guys have any other advice or anything to talk about. Just looking at the chat really quick. Okay, Brenda adds, Bev, I'm going to my first retreat at Soya in October. Do they usually have people introduce themselves so you know if they are from your area?
No. With 75 women there, it might behoove you, although I did hear they might have name tags this time. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
it's a little hard to introduce 75 women to each other. They have tried to get somebody, stand up and say who you are and what you're, but again, if you're a soft-spoken person, but if you are, and you're in the back of the room and you're telling us who you are and where you're from, I'm not hearing any of it.
Yeah.
So you need to just kind of walk around. You'll walk around and look at what people are working on, and you can say, oh, that's pretty. And where are you from? Please don't be afraid to speak out and ask, because you'll find there's lots of people like me who will be willing to talk your ear off.
Oh, nobody hates to hear what they're working on is beautiful. That is a perfect icebreaker. Like,
really
nobody's going to turn you away. If what you say, the first thing you say is that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're going to want to talk to you.
Yep.
I think the main point what Bev is saying though is don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Because people sit there, like I said, and they're like, they see you and they don't want to talk to you. And then you miss out on the opportunity if you wait till the end of the week that you could have had great conversations with that person earlier in the week.
Yep.
That was Brenda who asked that. Did you say her name is Brenda?
Yeah.
Okay, Brenda, I'm giving you an assignment. You come find me and Stephanie.
Yep.
And we will make sure that you get to know more people and have fun. We'll be right there to cheer you on.
Yep.
And Russ, I'll be there to cheer you on as well. Buddy, here's Russ.
Okay. I don't see any more questions in the chat, so I think we'll end it there. Thank you all so much for being here. I've been asked a lot of questions about retreats lately, why you'd want to go to them and things like that. So it was nice having all of you, even though Russ hasn't been to one yet, talk about why he wanted to go, but your perspective on retreats. I think that'll help a lot of people like decide if they want to go to one or not, whether it's mine or somebody else's, so.
Well, and Russ, if somebody would by chance cancel out for that one in Dahlonega, I'm on the list. I'll be there. I told her she can tell me the night before. I'll be there.
Sounds good. All right. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody in the YouTube world and hang on to you guys for just a minute.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye,
YouTube.
see you soon.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.